strategic communications people had done the video for everything for a long time. The Baton Rouge said they were spending too much time on athletics, so they had to scale back. So we hired a company to come in. It's kind of like what Doug did. It's called Antler Sports. They're out of Tyler, Texas. They're going to come in and do it all, but he did ask for help from us to try and fill in games. So I need to get with him on what games he wants us to do, he wants to do, and all that kind of stuff. But, just so you don't have to do 16 games in one day. So,
all right.
but it starts at 8 a.m. on that Friday. But we just need to figure out who's going to do what game. So it's 8 games, 4 games, 2 games.
Yeah, that's what Richard told me. I just didn't know that. I'd like to put them on my calendar.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm committed to it.
Yeah. I'm surviving this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, I'll start getting all that finalized.
And then, same thing with the NAIA. Will be back here, right?
It'll be in here.
Right.
On the 15th.
That's back
16th.
to us again.
Yeah. So that'll be 2 games on Friday night, the 15th, and 1 game on Saturday, the 16th. They announced that on February 27th. Who gets them? Stupid if we don't.
Barring a very cataclysmic event.
Yeah.
All right.
Even if we lost 3 in a
Domino's Pizza and Phillips Sublimation. student-athletes, coaches, as well as you
I haven't seen her in
we
a long time.
request your cooperation by supporting your physicals and our officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student-athletes, coaches, and team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the court. Consumption or possession of alcoholic beverages as well as the use of tobacco products is also prohibited within the fort.
You're on like 50. Like I said. Last time you didn't work both sides. Been a minute then.
I didn't work both sides. Hell, I might not get to work more. For club. They turned him into a center forward.
Oh wow.
I say, I mean, he's not like, oh my God, it's a massive
But he's a big turkey girl.
probably about as tall as like, you know, he's not as tall as you yet.
I got you.
So 5'8", 5'9", or 130. He can run. What? I don't know. No, but I mean, for club, he plays the one that goes over the score.
He be number easy number 10. Ah.
Well, I guess
But
it's more of a 9 than a 2-2. I'm not real good at all the number for that.
well, you know, and, for a jersey number 10 is your big number. That's like 99 in hockey, 23 in basketball.
So they put him up there because he's big. So he does a lot of like off-ball running, a lot of things that benefit his teammates.
He's like that guy from Main City with the ponytail. He's dangerous. Yeah, that is. But for an 8th grader, he's their version of that. Yeah.
Now, he can play like for school, that's when he plays basketball.
Oh wow.
In the championship game, they took 3 people, and wherever team went, 3 people were around.
Oh wow.
If he could get through those 3, there was somebody waiting to clean him out. I wasn't there for the first half, but the first half, he got through 3, somebody came and took him out.
Oh Jesus. Did the guy, did they card him? No?
Now, this team played 4 field.
It's like St. Paul's, but a little. Like St. Paul's is a big time.
And I was worried. Because the year before, the 7th grader, throwing up the first 3 minutes, he comes in and ankle went all the way on the ground. He didn't get up. He stayed on the ground for 4 or 5 minutes. Then went out to middle wide.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Fort, the home of your Generals, where tonight's doubleheader will be kicking off here in about 6 minutes. We'll have the presentation of the national anthem and the introductions. And so we're going to be looking at some of our great doubleheader action tonight as Olu, Our Lady of the Lake, the Saints of Olu, are making their way here to the fort at Alexandria. You've still got time to get out here. Contest is a few minutes away, and definitely have time if you want to make it by the second half or the second half of the doubleheader, which will feature none other than your #1 in the nation Generals that will be hosting the Saints of Olu tonight. And what a tremendous contest that will be for us tonight, as the Saints are 18-6 overall, 14-6 in Red River Athletic Conference. But the Generals have clinched first place, and they will be looking at hosting an NAIA tournament here in the middle of March is what we're hoping for. We'll find out word on that after the Red River Athletic Conference takes place February 28th, March 1st, and March 2nd. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Nathan Martin sitting courtside with you for these two contests tonight, and I am so looking forward to hearing from you, to bringing you this contest, I should say. And don't get a chance to look at your comments during the chatter of the game, because it's a one-man operation here doing the play-by-play and the color, so I don't get a chance to do that. But I'm grateful for the team here that does provide the scoreboard for you on the screen, giving you up-to-date stats there on what the scoring is and trying to keep the clock up to date. We've got 4 periods of play, 4 10-minute periods of play coming up with these Lady Generals of LSUA, with a change in the starting lineup tonight. Alexis Dyer will be kicking off. It will not be starting tonight. Normally she does. Recently she has started, but in her place tonight, Reese Stevens is getting the nod tonight, along with number 11, Dana Martin Hartwick. Of course, they'll finish that up with Amani Gray, number 23, 25, Jewel Jones, and 34, Benedetta Paraki. They had mentioned the possibility of Justice Young getting a start tonight, but there's no way you're going to sit out Amani Gray with her hot hand, or Jewel Jones, and of course Benedetta there at the post. So Reese Stevens, a freshman out of Hicks, Louisiana, getting her first start of the season here as a freshman. Dana Martin Hartwood, the senior from Livingston, Louisiana, played at French Settlement High, will be leading out tonight with the ball handling opportunities. Amani Gray, a senior from Gonzales, as well as 2 more seniors, Jewel Jones from Baton Rouge and Benedetta Paraki, hailing from Bergamo, Italia. And she went to Leonardo da Vinci High School. How much more Italian can you get than that? On the other side of the floor, starters for the Saints of Olu, number 1, Carlia Owens, a 6'0" sophomore from Cibolo, Texas. And then a junior playing at the guard position, Alexandria Westerdick Martin. She is a 5'9" junior from Granada, Spain. Went to IES Fray Luis de Granada High School. So we have Italy tonight for LSUA, and Spain, España, for the Saints of Olu. Other 3 starters are 2 sophomores and a junior. Samantha Fields, number 21, a 5'5" sophomore from Nacogdoches, Texas. Julia Plata, a 5'5" sophomore from San Antonio, Texas. And then their point guard, 5'3" junior Isabella Jaramillo from Las Vegas, Nevada. And so we're looking forward to this contest tonight. I'm surprised they gave us some pronunciations for the different ladies, but they did not give us the pronunciation for Jaramillo. It's spelled Jaramillo. Looks like Jaramillo, but I got a feeling it's Jaramillo, and that's the way I'm going to do. Head coach Tanya Ray is bringing her team tonight. They are out on the court getting some warm-ups in. The Generals have finished their warm-ups. Coach Billy Perkins, in his 3rd season, who had a good, interesting interview with me the other night as we talked here at the halftime of the men's game. Had a disappointing contest the other night against Xavier, and Xavier being the #1 team in the conference, you wanted to really get a big shot out and get a good lead and played a good game, but it was the last 4 minutes of the game that they just went on a big run, and LSUA was on a 9-2 lead over the first 4 minutes of play. It was 15-11 by the end of the first quarter, and then that second period, Xavier got back on top, 20-15 there at the half. Well, that was a big run they made, and so when you look at, it was actually 26-25 was the score at the halftime for LSUA, leading by 1 point. Third quarter, LSUA got a 5-point lead, being up 38-33. And then it was the last 4 minutes that was all Xavier, and they went on to win in a convincing fashion. So Coach Perkins telling me the other night, he said it was his fault. He did not have the right plays called, and he said he got stale. Tonight, I'm sure he'll be playing some different thoughts, processes in his play calling, as well as starting Reese Stevens here for the first time. We're going to pause now and turn up the extra microphone for the national anthem. And there you have the national anthem here in the fort. A great moment for all of the players. Our PA announcer, Rich Dupree, will be announcing the starters for each team. And I just kind of want to come back to talk to you about what's coming up. Here we have this game with Olu, and very important game as we continue forward into the season. But looking ahead, there'll be another home game here on Saturday against Texas A&M at San Antonio, and that's the final home game of the season. We will be honoring the seniors on Saturday. Hope you'll come out for that contest Saturday. And by the way, today is considered a pink game, which is why when you look out on the court, you will see Coach Billy Perkins and assistant coach Callista Perkins wearing pink. But coming up on Saturday at 1 o'clock, Texas A&M San Antonio will be here for the ladies' game. 3 o'clock for the men's games. We want to make sure that you are here for that contest and be a part of supporting your Generals. We want to fill this field house up for their final game of the season. Don't forget, you've got the Red River Athletic Conference Tournament coming to the Rapides Parish Coliseum on February 28th, March 1st, and March 2nd. And lots of support from the community will definitely be needed for your Generals in both sides of that tournament, both the men's and the women's games. Now it's the starters for the Generals, and Reese Stevens gets her little shout out. First time being a starter here for the Generals. So there's Dana Martin Hartwick getting her call. Call out for Amani Gray, number 23, the 5'8" senior from Gonzales. There's the word for Jewel with a hot hand this year. Benedetta, the second leading scorer on the season, averaging 12.5 points a game, gets announced there. Martin Hartwick is the leading scorer, averaging 13.6 points a game. Jewel Jones, as I mentioned, is averaging 12.4. Monty Gray, 10.4. So 4 players averaging double-digit scoring. And so we're looking forward to seeing what our girls can do here tonight, as the Generals will be hosting the Saints of Oulu. And get ready, folks. It's going to be a great contest right here at the Fort. Oulu wearing a gray with the blue undershirt. LSUA wearing the white uniform, so easily distinguishable. And jumping for Oulu will be number 1, Carlea Owens, a 6'0" sophomore from Cibolo, Texas, against Benedetta Paracchi, the 6'0" senior from Bergamo, Italy. Who will win in the battle of the 6'6"ers? And nice to see, again, Reese Stevens out there with a little pink ribbon in her hair. Her first start, got the pink shoes on. Let's see what she brings to this contest tonight. Here goes the pitch. And it is controlled by Oulu. The Saints will control the ball to get the contest started. Jaramillo gets it. She's going to go far side now, baseline. They're working it down inside. Jaramillo cutting through the hole, and it's 2 points for Isabella Jaramillo. First scorer for the Saints. Back the other way, let's put up the 3, why don't we? And why don't we make the 3 for Jewel Jones, showing you why she has got that hot hand and averaging the almost 13 points, 12.4 points per game, got 3 right there. Back the other way, Westergate Martin, they say, and she gets the little hoop. She hails from Spain, but looks like she may be a missionary's kid or something. Well, there are some light-colored Spaniards, of course. She's kind of got the blonde hair going on. Here comes another 3. Oh, it's off the back iron, will not go. Benedetta taps it into Reese's hands, but it's stolen back by Carlea Owens for the Saints. So the score remains 4-3, as 2 baskets have been scored so far by Oulu, and an errant shot is recovered by Reese Stevens. Reese hands it off. Back to Reese they go. They're going to move the ball around. Dana Martin Hartwick, far side, cutting it over to Amani. Amani tries to go into the paint. She's going to be left unattended and take it to the hole. 2 points for Amani Gray. And the first lead of the contest, well, that's not true. They led 3-2. So the second lead of the contest, 5-4, leading by 1. Moving the ball around, they got it down to Owens. Owens in the paint. She's going to go up and over, and she's going to leave the ball short. Benedetta gets the rebound. Reese Stevens moving the ball quickly, and she sees a hole and an opening. Now he goes far side to Martin Hardwick, who stepped on the line. Back heel, caught the line, and she had to go up into the air to get the pass from Reese, and ends up being a turnover. 5-4 the score, 8:11 to go in the first period. Second half of the doubleheader action coming up at 7:30. Oulu moves the ball around, gives it to Owens. Now coming near side, 32, Jaramillo with it. She is going back top of the key, hands it off 21, thinks about the 3, now drives inside, kicks it out for the Spaniard lady who's picked up her dribble, and she needs some help. She's going to put it up off the back iron, will not go, fighting for it. Reese gets it on the rebound from Benedetta. Reese Stevens drives hard, sees cutting to the hole. The basket is easily made by Amani Gray. Give the assist to Reese Stevens. And we have to have a little timeout for the ball to be retrieved. 7-4 now, your lead for the Generals. Owens with it. She's going to turn around and stop and pop from the right side of the free throw line. Reese Stevens gets the rebound. It's amazing how many rebounds these guards get. Dana gets a lot. Once again, driving to the hole and making it all by herself. Amani Gray on the nice arched shot. Right hand hook. Coming back the other way, Martine with the ball. Martine drives into the baseline. Is going to pick up her dribble, and she is fouled, I'm afraid, by Amani Gray, who's going to pick up her first personal. First team foul of the first period. First team foul for either team. Was a shooting situation, so to the line will go Alexandra Westerditch Martin. She missed her first one, gets the second one, makes the score 9-5. LSUA quickly back on offense. Jewell has the ball, gets it down inside to Benedetta, who does the easy left-handed layup, and quickly back on defense with an 11-5 lead. Martine, far right side. She's going to go baseline, thinks about shooting underneath. She does get a little hook shot, but the rebound controlled by Amani Gray. Amani feeds it down quickly, trying to get it to Benedetta, intercepted by Owens. It was nice to see timeout on the field, on the court, called by Olu. And I'm just going to comment to you, it was really nice to see Blair Smith out in the lineup for the national anthem before this contest. Blair, as you recall, was injured about a month ago, tore her ACL. I think there may have been some meniscus damage as well, but the ACL was torn. Had to suffer a season-ending surgery, has been hobbling around. If you ever get the wide shot on the camera, you'll look to your left. Leaning against the wall is a crutch that she's supposed to be using, but when she's sitting, she'll leave it over there. Got a chance to interview her on Tuesday night, enjoyed her spark of vitality, and appreciate her continued commitment. Not sitting at the bench, of course, because, well, she is actually sitting at the bench as an assistant coach. She's right there next to Callista. She's not dressed out, is what I meant to say. So nice to have Blair offering that emotional and moral support. Olu Saints will inbound, trailing by 6, 11-5 with 6:15 to go in your first period. Quickly with the ball, Jaramillo is going to run the point guard, gives it over to Martine, left side, thinking about the three in the corner and picking it up instead. Fields comes back up to the top of the key, comes back left side to Jaramillo, is looking for an opportunity to make something happen. They're down to 3 on the shot clock. She doesn't realize it, and there's a shot clock violation. Olu lost track of the shot clock, just took too much time. Great defensive pressure by LSUA, the Generals, causing that turnover on a shot clock violation. 11-5 remains the score, 5:45 to go in the first period. Right side, got a Roundtree in the game for the first time. Did not see her check in. Anaya Roundtree checked in for Dana Martin Hartwick. Also Reese Stevens, Amani Gray, Jewel Jones, and Paraki all went to the bench. So we actually have 5 subs in the game. Let me mention them to you real quick. Alexis Dyer, Kelly Norris, Addison Walker, and Justice Young in the contest. Up by 6, 11-5. Coach Perkins getting the second stringers a good chance. Justice on the defense, and she will commit the foul against Julia Plata. Julia Plata, actually on 25, Singleton is who had the ball, but Justice Young will get her first personal. And at the line to shoot will be Amaya Miller Singleton from San Antonio, Texas. She misses the first one. She is a 5'9" sophomore playing in that forward position. Was posting up down low and got fouled by Justice on that shot attempt. Second shot on its way in just a moment. And she unable to capitalize on either one. Justice gets the rebound. Quickly back the other way. Kelly Norris with it. It's going to feed it over to Roundtree. And Aya comes over the right-hand side. Now goes baseline, and she puts it up all by herself. Anaya Roundtree, the junior from Missouri City, Texas, gets in the book. 13-5, and Olu having a little bit of pressure getting it across the midcourt line. Able to do so before the 10 seconds expire. Jaramillo gets it over to Martine. Martine now just holding the ball, far side. They're going to work it over. Now a 3, and a 3 was good for 22, Julia Plata. So 13-8, and Olu gets a steal. Jaramillo with the ball. Plata ended up with that steal. Jaramillo sees an opening, goes in, and she's going to be fouled. I believe that's going to be on Addison Walker. Let's check the foul from the referee as he makes his way over, and he does call number 14, Addison Walker. That's the third team foul of the first period. The Saints yet to commit a foul in this contest. Braintree runs back into a defensive posture. 21 with the ball is going to make it a move around the right-hand side. Now here comes the long two. Would not fall for Singleton. Quickly back the other way. LSUA now picking up her dribble, getting over to Roundtree. And that was Kelly Norris bringing the ball up. Roundtree picks up her dribbles, going to need some help. She gets it back to Roundtree. Roundtree gets it back to Kelly Norris. Kelly fed it down inside to Justice. Turned around and shot. Did not go, but she was fouled in the process. First foul of the contest. That's going to be on Martine, I believe. Yeah, so Alexander Wisterditch Martine picks up her first personal. First team foul. And since it was a shooting situation, Justice will shoot two. She got the first one to go. Looked like a point guard shooting that free throw. Nothing but net. Last shot or second shot coming up. 3:45 in the first period. And she rattled that one home. 3 bounces off the rim and through the bottom of the net. LSUA putting on some full court pressure. Martine gets across the timeline, hands it off to Jaramillo. Looks like there have been no substitutions yet for the Saints. Martine goes into the paint. Now she stops, kicks it back out, looking at a three, will not take it. Fields with it, now back to Jaramillo. Left-handed layup is good. So Jaramillo taking the ball into her own hands and is the leading scorer with 4 for the Saints. LSUA feeds it inside to Justice, who turns around, and she just knocks it down. What a great shooter, and what a great look as we're going to see some subs checking back in. I think some of our starters will come in at the next buzzer. We'll pick that up. Martine picks up her dribble, needs some help, gets it back to Jaramillo. Jaramillo goes around a little pick, stops and shoots the long two. It's going to bounce around, not fall good. Justice gets the rebound for the Generals. Giving it off to Roundtree. Anaya goes left side, then baseline, pulls out, back out again, feeds it over near side. Kelly Norris turns and thinks about shooting. She puts it up. Yes, indeedy, Kelly Norris from Rose Pine gets into the books. 19-10, and your second string team has lengthened the lead to 9. What a deep bench LSUA Generals have. Jaramillo with the ball, 2:13 to go in the first period. Far side, they work it over, thinking about the three to Fields. Picks up her dribble back up top. They're going to shoot the three for Plata. It's going to bounce in and out and will not go. Justice gets the rebound back quickly as she got the ball off to Roundtree. Roundtree puts up the shot. That one's good. And it's a 21-10 lead as the 5 starters are ready to come back in, but they're happily applauding these second stringers who have made it an 11-point lead with 1:40 to go. Full court pressure being applied. Jaramillo breaks it. 3-point attempt is up and will not go. Rebound for Addison Walker. Addison gets it to Kelly. Kelly feeds it down inside to Justice, and we have, I think it's going to be a travel against Justice. The ball actually was caught between her body and the defender, and that kind of caused her to take an extra step. 1:27 to go. LSUA leads 21-10 with the starters all checking back in. Glad to have them back, but what great production by the bench here in the last 4 minutes of play. Hernandez is off the bench for Olu. She's going to try to feed it down into Torres off the bench. I did see the first time substitutions were big time substitutions made. Benedetta comes up with the rebound on the missed shot. Far side, they're going to work it down to Jewel Jones. Puts up the three. It's going to hit the iron, but Benedetta tries to come up with the rebound. There's going to be fighting for it. Ended up instead, Jewel Jones got the rebound. Dana with the ball now coming off the pick. Far side, working around to Reese. Reese gets it over to Amani. Down inside, Benedetta takes the shot. And it's a nice one. Hits the back of the rim and through the bottom of the net. 42 seconds to go. 23-10. I'll get the score right here in a second. So Hernandez with the ball now. A long three put up. And that one was good for Julia Plata from San Antonio, Texas. And they needed that one. They're going to say her foot was on the line and give her a, no, that was a three, yeah. So that was 10, now it's 13. 10-point lead. And LSUA going to run for the last shot. Shot clock is off. Reese goes into the line off the glass, will not fall. 5, 4, 3. No hustle by Olu, and they do not get the shot off. Wouldn't have counted anyway as it hit the side of the sideboard. So at the end of one, your LSUA Generals are up 23-13, and we'll take a timeout. Coming back after this timeout with the second period play, you're listening to the Generals Media Network.
LSUA is the fastest growing college in the state, with the lowest tuition, a diverse student body, and a safe campus. Plan a visit today.
Man, I can stand up.
All right, you sure about that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Welcome back to the fort, where I'm being joined by the illustrious Coach Jackson of the Generals, who on Tuesday night here in this same place did something historic, becoming the first team in the United States of America to clinch a berth in the NAIA tournament.
Yes, sir.
That was pretty impressive on Tuesday night, Coach.
Man, I give credit to God, man. One, for being here. Always give you a shout out, man, for allowing us to come on and, get a chance to advertise our program.
We are super excited to get to do it. And as a fan, I got the best seat in the house, I think, next to yours. There was a little bit of chippiness on Tuesday night with Xavier wanting to come in. I don't even want to know, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen that many technicals in one game. I think I lost. Was it 6, 7? I forget how many it was. There was actually a point where they gave technicals to both teams, and I don't think they let us shoot our free throw that we should have gotten. The Cassie should have got to shoot.
Oh man, I won't get into the details of that, but that was a different. That's a different game.
I need to talk to you off the air.
For sure.
But what a great game your guys put on, because Xavier, the only team who had a victory against the Generals this season. Don't know if they came in with an attitude or what, but you guys were up 30-something points at one point.
Well, I said this to Mayor when he was, at halftime. When we went to those guys, man, when we lost that game, it wasn't really a loss. It was a lesson.
Yeah.
It was some things that we didn't do that we didn't deserve to win that night.
Wow.
It wasn't disciplined enough. It wasn't tough enough. They were tougher than us at every aspect of the game. So with that being said, we didn't deserve to win. But last night, we were what we are. We're disciplined, we're tough. We compete, we play hard, and that's what we was Tuesday night. That game was personal for them, and it was personal for us. For a lot of different reasons that I won't get into. But I wouldn't call it a great game because we didn't finish like I wanted to. I'd call it a good game.
Well, I think your final victory was 19, was your final margin of victory, if I recall. I think you had led by 34 at one point. I'm not positive on that number. It was a bunch. I know it was at least by 30. A great night for Cassie Nett, who had his season high, I believe, in points, but also had this double-double. And I know I was watching the steals and the blocks, that just – almost it seemed like a complete game for him.
Yes, sir. He was, and he's due for those nights because the kid worked so hard, man.
Did you give him more minutes that night or about the same?
He played about the same amount of minutes.
He's averaging around 24 minutes a game, I think.
Yep. I think he's averaging about 24. I think EJ is around 24 or 25.
Right.
And then everybody else kind of, balance out at about 18, 19.
Which is crazy with only 24 out of 40 minutes to get the numbers that he's getting. That's stunning.
That's a testament to the work that young man put in. And what you need to know is that same night after that game, he and about 9 other guys on our team stayed after and got some work in and coached the one.
No way.
Promise.
After they cut the net.
After cutting the net.
Everybody's gone.
Yes, sir.
They're staying here working.
Yes, sir.
Man.
I can show you the picture. We got video, too.
I'm going to take your word. I believe you. LSUA Lady Generals up 25-13. and just continuing to lead well against the Saints here of Olu. Someone asked me, is he related? There's a couple of Nats that played in the NBA, Calvin Nat and was it Kerry Nat or Kenny Nat? I forget which.
He is related to one of them that played. So, I do know that. I don't know the specifics, like the details, what names, and of who.
Well, there was
but
a Nat,
I know that he's related to a Nat that played
who was
in
a
the
coach
NBA.
up at Sacramento for a little while, who played maybe 3 seasons and coached for 10 years, and he lives in the Monroe area. I got to thinking, maybe there's a connection.
I'm sure
there.
that if he lived in the Monroe area and he's from that area, there's a connection.
Rayville's
somewhere.
not that far from Monroe.
Right.
So,
right.
Well, phenomenal game for him, but. The early in the contest, Brandon had a pretty spectacular play, and as he's coming down the court, it looked to me like a Xavier player stepped in front of him, and Brandon, he didn't change his trajectory.
Talking about Braden.
I'm sorry, Braden, and he gets dinged with the
technical foul.
But
it's crazy.
It looked to me like the other guy stepped in front of him.
Man, I told you we'll talk about that off the air.
Okay,
man.
all right.
Like,
but you know what? I wasn't displeased with that technical myself.
It was
attitude.
It was a couple that.
Yeah. Well, there was one against you too, if I
right,
remember right.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll take that one.
Well,
that
you did.
one,
I saw you tap yourself.
Yeah,
I
take
okay
that one because you get to a certain point where enough is enough.
Right.
Especially when some stuff is clear.
Well, we were talking amongst ourselves the number of reviews they had, the time that they spent reviewing video. I mean, it just changed the momentum. Yeah, right. What's really funny, too, you say that. Somebody had a tweet yesterday that said they wanted Cashy to transfer so he'd get more playing time on TV. I wanted to rebuke them in Jesus' name. Get out of here.
Hey, man, Cash is. I think if he was on, which we need to get him on here. He'll tell you he's where he needs to be. For a lot of different reasons. For some reasons that that's no one else's business. But Cash is right where God has Cash here for a reason.
There's something special about him. I was commenting. I do a radio show in the mornings, Tuesdays and Thursdays, on a local radio station, and we were talking about there's just something special about him, the way he carries himself. He doesn't.
Great character.
There's not swagger. There's just confidence, right? There's a quiet confidence about him. And I don't see. I mean, now he plays off emotion.
Oh yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, for sure.
But E.J. McQuillan had a hot hand the other night, and I know it's easy just to talk about one player, but we start talking about the other contributions that are made.
Yeah.
And I know one thing that you love is whenever your guys are playing defense.
Defense, yes, sir. And I thought we guarded well all night. We made some adjustments on some personnel things, even, some schematic things we make some adjustments on, and our guys were able to handle it, and that's, you want to see those things, especially at this time of the year going into tournament play, because once tournament play get here, all hands on deck, you never know what you're going to have to do. You never know what adjustments you're going to have to make. So it was great to see our guys be able to handle that in the midst of that. Two of the things we did, man, we hadn't even practiced.
Tell me.
That was very, good to see.
Just the skill sets of the guys
right.
showing
That's
up,
just kudos to our players. And that's just a testament to them trusting Coach Dwayne and Coach Alyssa and myself.
Speaking of defense, this is the second time LSUA Lady Generals have forced a turnover on a shot clock violation, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, those are always good.
I talked to Coach Billy Perkins. He comes over at the halftime of the men's game, and that was a disappointing loss for the Lady Generals the other night. You know what he said to me? He said, that's 100% on me. He said, I didn't coach well the last 4 minutes. I got stale in my play calling. And I thought, I don't know if I've ever heard a coach take that level of responsibility because he felt like his girls played a game better than he coached. And hats off to him. He's doing something so great here with these Lady Generals.
When I always say, those things go both ways. Sometimes a lot of people blame coaches, but at the end of the day, players got to hold themselves accountable too.
Well, I'm just
saying, nobody is perfect.
He was the one saying that.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here going, Coach, that's when you take 100% of responsibility, that's a big statement. And I think part of it too is, he just wants his girls to keep believing in themselves, and we're seeing it tonight with a good, the starting 5 went up by 6 or 7. He puts in a whole new 5. They go up by 11. So what a nice bench to have here. these Lady Generals bring. So we know we're going to the big dance, the
Yes, sir.
guaranteed first team in the nation that gets a bid to the NAIA.
Yes, sir.
And we're hoping that we'll get to play it here. Is that right? I mean,
That's
we
true.
won't know for sure.
We'll
But
know. We find out February 27th if those first, that first and that second round. All right, let me just say it like that. We'll host a bracket play.
right.
Man, that'll be amazing, man. Now it comes down to we need our folks to come in these gyms. Man.
Absolutely.
You
Well,
know.
and I'm telling you, Saturday we've got the big, we're going to be honoring seniors,
Seniors, right?
And so,
right.
folks, please come out here Saturday and fill this field house Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
You got nothing else to do. It's going to be raining. You can't be out there playing golf or
Right.
frisbee or anything. Come out here and support these generals, and let's give them a support like they deserve. I believe.
Yes, sir.
So
And
they're-
that goes for both teams, So
that's right.
we just challenge. We're gonna keep challenging, everybody to come and support these young women and these young men, and watch them run up and down and play. Man, I'm telling you, if you just come once, you're coming back.
That's absolutely right. Well, I'll have my crew with me on Saturday
Yes,
afternoon.
sir.
It's my wife's birthday, so I've told her
Oh,
for
man,
birthday
tell her happy
present.
birthday.
Birthday present. I'm bringing her to double header.
Yeah, you got to bring her to get something to eat after.
Oh,
man, for sure.
trust me, the reservation's already made. So
Yeah.
we're going out to eat afterwards. But yeah, so thank you for coming and taking your time. I know
Oh, man.
I know you guys have a great routine. At halftime, you guys will be getting together. We're looking forward to what will happen here in the second half of this doubleheader. And we have a travel.
We playing against a good team, man. They're a national tournament team.
Yeah.
They're a good team, man. They're athletic. They got good guard play. Coach does a great job with them, man. So and our guys are locked in, man. I wish you could have seen, like, we celebrated, but in the midst of us celebrating, I could also feel us like a not satisfied feel. And I loved every minute of it.
Well, I stayed and watched them cut all the way till Nat Cashy being the very last one to cut, and I saw that. But I didn't stick around and see what you saw the practice afterwards.
Yeah.
But you could sense within them, they know that was just a necessary step.
Yeah.
And then the next necessary step, I know you guys want to win out.
Yeah,
You don't want to
man.
let anything down, and I don't expect there'll be any kind of letdown from
Right.
a Coach Jackson coached team.
And something I want to do, man, and I got to do this, man. It's on my spirit. I want to send a special shout out to my wife, man.
Yes, sir.
For allowing, because when I took this job, man, I was at Port Allen High. Shout out to James Jackson. And it ain't easy just picking up and moving from your
Right.
family. It's easy for me because I had, I went to school. Both of the colleges I graduated from was 7 to 8 hours away. But for her, she had never been away from home like that, man. And it wasn't even a thought when I asked her, when this actually became reality, like, hey, I have a chance at getting this job. What you want to do? She didn't think twice. Like, man, I believe in you.
That's awesome.
So I want to send a special shout out to her for that, man, and just let her know how much I appreciate it for just being able to be here, man. And because you just never know. All things work together for the good of those who love the Lord, and I love it. So you just never know where things can go when with great sacrifice come great rewards.
Well, that's evident in the way you carry yourself, that faith is important to you, family is important to you. I think you model that for the kids,
Yes, sir.
the young men. These aren't kids, these are men.
Yeah.
But they're obviously walking in those good examples that you're leaving for them. And so is your wife from the Port Allen area?
She's from Plaquemine. We both
Plaquemine.
we both from Plaquemine. Like
Okay.
we've been knowing each other since 2002.
Okay.
So
I can do the math.
some things come, with flow. But I definitely wanted to give her a shout out, man, and just tell her how much I thank her and I appreciate her. And of course tomorrow is Valentine's. She already said yes to me about Valentine's, so that makes the day a little easier for sure.
3-point play by Jewel Jones. Great shot from the left side gives the Generals a 31-18 lead. And nothing that's ever comfortable. You're not going to let any kind of thing get you down with 2:20 to go in the first half. But wonderful play here tonight. And I'm glad you said that about Valentine's.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to be reminded. And I one time I said, all right, all you guys, and somebody said, hey, the ladies got to buy it too. They got to get us some. Oh, Dana Martin, Hardwick.
Man, I appreciate you for having me for sure,
Appreciate
man.
you so much for stopping
Yes,
by
sir.
each week, and look forward to seeing you guys take us to the victory in the second game.
Yes, sir. Thank
you, Coach. Appreciate that. none other than, I'm going to call him legendary coach Demario Jackson. I appreciate him taking the time to visit with us here courtside. We'll take a timeout and come back with the last 2 minutes of the first half, right back after this word from our sponsors on General Media. Generals on an 11-5 run here in the second period. Thank you, Coach Demario Jackson, for giving us your time during this second period. LSUA steals the ball. Second stringer's in there and driving the ball down. Alexis Dyer gets it off left side. Tried to get it over to Addison Walker, put the shot up. That shot did not go, but the rebound was good with 1:40 to go. And Alexis Dyer with the putback. Here comes a three for Olu, and that one is good. Julia Plata, and that's a nice shot for Olu, as Plata is the leading scorer for the Saints with 9 points. Jewel Jones, the leading scorer for LSUA, on the bench right now. Alexis Dyer is going to hand it off. Getting it to Walker. Walker's trying to feed it down to Justice. Justice was, she traveled, they say. So basket did not count. She made the basket, but it did not count. LSUA has subs on the floor, all 5, but all 5 are playing strong ball with 58 seconds to go in the second period. Almost getting the steal. Alexis Dyer gets her hand down there in the way of the dribble. Dribbling around and putting up a left-handed shot. That one did go for Jaramillo, making it 36-23, a 13-point lead for the Generals. 42 seconds to go in this first half. Nia Roundtree will bring the ball across the court. She is kind of the general on the floor right now. There's about a 16-second difference between the shot clock and the play clock. We're at 27 seconds on the game clock. I said the shot clock and the play clock. They're going to feed it down inside. They do to Alexis, and Alexis knocks it in. Alexis Dyer off the bench now with 4 points. And a travel against Jaramillo as the pressure mounted and unable to get the ball across the timeline. She drug her foot. 10.7 seconds to go, and for the first time checking in for LSUA, number 5, Bria Raymond. So with 10 seconds to go, Bria will check in for Addison Walker. Gets it to Anaya, back to Bria. I haven't called her much. Sophomore from Zachary, Louisiana. She's going to get the shot off at the buzzer, hits the front of the rim, would not go. And there's the end of the first period, 38-23. 38-23, so a 15-10 run here in the second period. And that is your halftime score, 38-23. Generals up by 15. We'll take our timeout and come back, run down some of the stats for you. We've got 15 minutes of halftime coming up. Stick around, don't go anywhere. Second half yet to come right here on the LSUA Generals Media Network.
Okay, this time I'm ready to start scratching some lottery tickets.
What do you mean, ready?
I got my lucky rabbit's foot and a 4-leaf clover in my pocket.
Very nice, and just in time because the lottery has 4 fun new games to play.
Introducing Win It All. Win up to $4,000. Money Talks. Win up to $15,000. Try Bingo Match. Top prize $30,000. And play Wild 888. Top prize $88,888. Must be at least 21 to purchase.
LSUA is the fastest growing college in the state with the lowest tuition, a diverse student body, and a safe campus. Plan a visit today. LSUA is the fastest growing college in the state, with the lowest tuition, a diverse student body, and a safe campus. Plan a visit today.
Welcome back to the Fort, where it's halftime, about 10 and a half minutes to go. During this halftime, both teams are over there making their mid-game adjustments. And it's a Thursday night here. Crowd not quite as big as we would like. Congratulations, though. I want to give a shout-out to LSUA Chancellor Paul Carell and his lovely wife, who celebrated 50 years of marriage this past week. And what a nice accomplishment that is, as you consider in today's world. We don't get as many examples of that as maybe perhaps one day we would have enjoyed. But Dr. Paul Carell, who is often here, I think he missed the last game because he was probably on a date with that lovely lady sitting right next to him at just about every single home game. He does a great job of recognizing the sports activities that are here, but took some much needed time to be celebrating his wife Lorraine, or Arlene I should say, and himself celebrating 50 years of wedding. And it was actually, the anniversary was this past August, but they received in recognition of that honor of that anniversary a papal blessing from the Holy Father Francis, and I'm sure that's a meaningful thing for that family, as Pastor Father Raj presented them with that anniversary certificate from Pope Francis during Mass at St. Rita's Catholic Church this past week. And so congratulations to him, and what a great honor that is for them, and what a great leader we have here with Dr. Paul Carell. So I'm going to shoot him a congratulatory text as I take this moment here to congratulate him. All right, so we are here in this first half of the double header. The Saints of Olu, Our Lady of the Lake University, have traveled to Alexandria, and the Lady Saints, I guess, I don't know, the Saintesses, are trailing 38-23. Pardon me, I got a sneeze coming on. All right, had to get that sneeze out and didn't want to blow your eardrums out. But as we look at some of the stats in the first half of the game, Saints are shooting 33.3 on 9 of 27, 50% from beyond the arc on 4 of 8, but only 1 of 4 from the free throw line. In contrast, the Generals of LSUA are shooting 55% from the field, 57 from beyond the three-point arc on 4 of 7 shooting, and they are 2 of 2 from the free throw line. So good numbers there for your Lady Generals. As we look at total rebounds, 19 for LSUA versus 9 for Our Lady of the Lake. Defensive rebounds are 15-7, offensive rebounds 4-2. So out rebounding in that aspect. Assists are 8. We'll talk about some of those in a minute. And get this one, 14 points off the bench for the Generals. 14 of the 38. You wouldn't have the lead if you didn't have that bench support versus only 5 for Olu. I'm going to run down some of the scoring leaders for you. For Our Lady of the Lake, the Saints leading scorer with 9, Julia Plata. Isabella Jaramillo with 6. Julian Torres off the bench with all 5 of the bench points. 3 points for Alexandra Westerdich Martin. And those are the only players who have scored for Olu. 4 players in the book. LSUA, in contrast, has 8 players in the scoring book. 9 points for Jewel Jones. 6 apiece for Amani Gray and Benedetta Paraki. Off the bench, Amaya Roundtree, Alexis Dyer, and Justice Young have 4 points apiece. Dana Martin Hartwick has that sole tray. She's only taken 1 shot, and she made it. So she is shooting 100% on 1 of 1 in the first half. Gives her 3 points, and Kelly Norris adds another bucket for 2 points. And those are your scoring leaders. And as you notice, 3 of the top 5 are starters, but nice to see those bench points coming in. 14 bench points for LSUA. As we look coming up next in the second half of this double header, the Saints of Our Lady of the Lake University are 18-6 overall. They're 14-6 in Red River Athletic Conference play. They're currently at 3rd place behind LSUA and Xavier. And if you think about it, they're only 1 game behind Xavier, 5 games behind LSUA. So they're really fighting for that second position. They they won their last 3 contests prior to this game, averaging 83.7 points per game and shooting 48% overall. They do give up an average of 81, but they average 83. So you can see why they are a winning team. Their leading scorer is Breon Powell, averaging 14.2 points a game, shooting 52.3% from the field. Lorenzo Rand is in double digits, averaging 14, and Trey Law also in double digits, averaging 13.6. So 3 different players who average double digits. They out-rebound their opponents 37.5 to 35.5. Powell is the leading rebounder, averaging 6 per game. Of course, LSUA is 15-4 all-time against Our Lady of the Lake. They won their last contest at Olu back on December 21st, 85-71. So we're hoping for a similar victory or greater tonight. Tip-off will take place at 7:30 p.m. right here at the Fort. You've still got time to come out for this wonderful contest that's coming up. And we want you to be a big part of that. The other night, LSUA won 81-62 over the Gold Rush of Xavier. And we are looking for such a great contest here again tonight from, let me get back to the right tab, for your Generals here in the second half. They will be tipping off, like I say, at 7:30. So stick around. I think this broadcast will end, and you'll just have to restart. Keep an eye on the YouTube channel. We'll start with the men's contest in about an hour. So that game is coming up next. Back in this contest, as we were looking at Our Lady of the Lake coming into the night's contest, they have been playing some good basketball coming into this particular night, and I think they had a feeling that they would do better. They're had a rough schedule prior to this, but they trying to fight their way into that 8th spot in the tournament. And tonight, and unfortunately not having as good a showing, they only average 60 points per game, and they're shooting 38% from the floor as a team. Julia Plata is their leading scorer, and she is so far in this contest with Knight, averages 9. She averages 15.5 points per game. And Carlia Owens, the second, averaging 13.5. Carlia Owens in this particular contest, though, as we look at the scoring, has yet to score in this contest. So the second leading scorer has been held scoreless so far in this contest, and that's a big deal on your defense. They've been out-rebounded overall this season, averaging 41 to 33, or the total, and their leading rebounder is the young lady that hails from Spain, Alexandra Westerdich Martin, averaging 8 per game. If you think about it, the Generals, though, have had their hands full with Our Lady of the Lake over the years. The Generals are actually 6-13 against Oulu, but they have won their last 5 matchups. So we were 1-13 at one point. The last contest, December 21st, LSUA won 72-56 in convincing manner. And so tonight, with a 38-23 lead, the Generals seem to be in control of this contest. They are out doing a little warm-up, and Oulu yet to make it back on the field. We'll take a timeout. When we come back from this timeout, hopefully we'll be ready to kick off the second half of this game. 38-23, LSUA Lady Generals up by 15 at the halftime. We'll be back with more on the Generals Sports Network.
LSUA is the fastest growing college in the state, with the lowest tuition, a diverse student body, and a safe campus. Plan a visit today.
Well, with 21 seconds to go before the buzzer sounds, Oulu has not made their way back onto the court yet. I wonder if they're just taking a little extra sweet time in the locker room, but they better get out here in a hurry. They're trailing by 15, but you don't want to forfeit by not showing back up for the second half. They will be given a warning. They are not yet on the court. This is something I am not used to seeing, I have to be honest with you. As finally, the referee, or finally, I should say, Coach Tanya Ray leads her girls back out of the locker room, and they will have no warm-up whatsoever. They've got to get right back out onto the floor. LSUA will have the ball to start the second half, and interestingly here, some different ladies with the start for the Lady Generals here in the second half. You've got Dana Martin-Hartwig, Benedetta Paraki, along with Jewel Jones. I said different, but it's not really. Now that I look back at it, it's just Reese Stevens. I wasn't used to seeing her as a starter, so she is starting again the second half. Jaramillo trapped in the back court. It's going to need some help. Gets it over to Martine, and hello. Thank you very much. Benedetta came and said hi to us up close and personal, and the shot is made by Carlia Owens. But quickly back the other way, LSUA decides to take the shot, and Martine gets the rebound. That one came right here in our faces as we sit here courtside, and Benedetta chasing the ball, shoved the desk back into my lap. All right, rebound controlled by Olu, but they pass it off to a waiting General. Dana Martin Hartwick gets it. Amani shoots the three. It's going to be off to the right-hand side. Saints come down with the rebound. Samantha Fields gets the board. Martine with it. Hands it off and into the paint. It's going to be no good. Martine, though, does get the rebound. Offensive board, gets it back to number one. The hook shot is there for Carlia Owens, who gets into the book. And now had no points in the first half. Gives her 4 points so far here in the second half. LSUA turns the ball over out of bounds near us. So Martine will inbound it to Jaramillo. You waving at the coach? All right, 8:30 to go in the third period. 38-27, LSUA yet to score in the second half. Olu on a 4-0 run with the ball down inside. Carlia puts the shot up, but it is errant. Rebound for LSU. Imani Gray, check that. Jewel Jones with it, gives it over to Reese. Reese comes back up top. Benedetta now far side. Dana thinks about the three, comes around the screen. Far side, they work it over to Imani. Down inside to Benedetta, posting up. She has the ball blocked, picks it up. Now for three on the left-hand side. Short, will not fall for Jewel Jones. So Martine gets the rebound for the Saints. As we notice some ladies walking by with the homecoming banners. Homecoming queen will be announced on Saturday. No look down inside to Carlia, off the glass, will not fall, fighting for it. It could be a jump ball. It is a jump ball. Possession arrow LSUA. And just like that,